皆さんこんにちは、てすです。今日はちょっと違いますね。私の日本の好きなところを話します。But first, I want to talk about why I came to like Japan and also my experience with it. I've been to Japan 4 times. The first 3 were as a tourist, and the 4th time was moving here to live here. How I became interested in Japan is kind of a long story. When I was small, there was an art museum in Kansas City, the Nelson Atkins Art Museum. I highly recommend it if you ever visit Kansas City. It's really cool. It has an ancient Egypt exhibit, Greece exhibit, it has medieval ages, there's all kinds of things. But anyway, my favorite exhibit ever since I was little was always the China exhibit. I know that's not Japan, but they didn't have any Japanese exhibit really, so it was the closest you could find. But anyway, it was always my favorite exhibit because the architecture and the art and everything about it was so unique and different from what I was used to in Kansas City. Then, when I was about 4, 5 maybe, we were watching a lot of Ghibli movies, and admittedly I thought they were from America because they were always dubbed by Disney. So naturally as a child I thought, oh, this is a Disney movie. So sorry. But anyway, when I was around 4 or 5, I found out that actually Ghibli movies are from this place called Japan. I thought, where's Japan? I don't know that. And I found out it was near China. So it was in the same kind of area that I was interested in. So then I started discovering things like anime, I started discovering manga, I started discovering food, and basically kind of became obsessed with it, in a sense. And then the one thing I wanted to do in my life was to visit Japan and to try living there for at least a year. That's all I wanted to do. Then when I was 19, I finally went as a tourist for the first time, and I was not disappointed. I traveled to many places. I went to Hokkaido, I went to Okinawa, Kyoto, Nara. I went to so many places. I went again in 2018. I went again in 2019. And then finally in 2020, I moved here, and I've been here ever since, and I don't regret my decision. Obviously it's not a fantasy world or anything here, but just I think I really appreciated the aesthetic and how unique and different it was from my own reality, from what I was used to. Yes, so that's how I became interested in Japan. So now I want to tell you my 5 好きなところ. Number 5 is 伝説, 日本の伝説. I am interested in Japanese folklore and legends. For example, I like stories like Izanami and Izanagi or Kaguya Hime. When I read these stories, I think I can understand Japanese people's way of thinking a little bit better and understand references or even comedy sometimes a little better. My interest in densetsu came with a video game called Okami. I don't think it's very popular, but I liked it a lot. In Okami, you play as a wolf, and the wolf's name is Amaterasu. There are also many references to Japanese gods and legends, so there's Isun Boshi. There's also Susano and Tsukuyomi. There are many references. Because there were so many references, I had trouble understanding the game or figuring out what to do. So I started reading the stories so I could understand the game. So because of that, I like Japanese folklore. Number 4 is Japanese nature. I think Japanese nature is absolutely beautiful. My favorite flower is cherry blossoms, and my favorite season is spring. So, spring in Japan is when I am most happy. But I think every season is beautiful in its own way here. Autumn's red leaves are also beautiful, I think. Also, I enjoy watching the ocean and looking at the mountains in Japan because in Kansas City, we can't get any of those. It's all just flat. It's quite boring, actually. So I think I can appreciate nature more while I am living in Japan than when I am living in Kansas City. Number 3 is anzen. I am so grateful for the safety in Japan. I see women walking at night all alone. I see children walking to school by themselves. And in general, people are very honest here. In America, I was taught that walking alone at night is dangerous, especially for women. And I don't see children walking outside alone. And if I do, I wonder where their parents are, and I am very worried for them. In Japan, it's still a bit difficult for me to relax when I am walking at night alone, but I am relieved to know that I am generally safer here than even in my own country. Number 2 is fashion. Maybe this isn't surprising. So, American fashion can be chic and luxurious, but in daily life, most people wear comfortable clothing or even fitness clothing. However, my personal style is very feminine and cute. That kind of style is a little rare to see in Kansas City, so I was always embarrassed to wear it because I felt like people were staring at me or making fun of me. I always felt embarrassed wearing what I like. However, in Japan, I discovered that many women also like the feminine and cute fashion that I do. Even though I'm still sometimes a little embarrassed, I can wear what I like now. So that's why it's number 2 of what I like most about Japan. Finally is number 1, food. 食べ物. I think many Americans can agree with me here, but I think food tastes better in Japan than it does in America. For example, Italian food and Chinese food taste fresher and they look more delicious in Japan versus in American restaurants. In general, I don't really miss American food except for pizza and hamburgers. However, even pizza and hamburgers in Japan satisfies those cravings. I don't miss my home food because Japanese food satisfies me, both visually and with its taste. So, those are my 5 好きなところ. What do you think? Do you have any questions? What do you think of my opinions? I hope you enjoyed this video even though it was a little bit different. じゃあ、また見てね。バイバイ。